You see, Eleanor Robertson, who would soon become known to millions as Nora Roberts, had always made up stories in her head. As a child, surrounded by a family of passionate readers with Irish ancestry, she was, as she puts it, an Irish woman through and through. But on that snowy day in 1979, at nearly 30 years old, she finally put pen to paper and wrote her very first novel. Little did she know that this moment of creative desperation would launch a career that would redefine what it means to be prolific, successful, and absolutely unstoppable in the literary world. Fast forward to today, and Nora Roberts has written over 250 novels, sold more than 500 million copies worldwide, and earned herself a net worth of $420 million. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. Every single book written since 1999 has hit the New York Times bestseller list. Every single one. We're talking about a woman who doesn't just write books, she creates literary earthquakes that shake the entire publishing industry year after year. But wait, there's more to this incredible story. Remember that first novel she wrote during the blizzard? Irish Thoroughbred was initially published as a category romance meant to be sold for just 1 month. Just 1 month. But it quickly became a sensation and was re-released as a standalone, eventually selling millions of copies worldwide. Talk about defying expectations. Now here's where things get really fascinating. Nora didn't even think Nora Roberts was her real name when she started writing. She assumed all romance authors used pen names, so she shortened her birth name, Eleanor Marie Robertson, to create what she thought was her pseudonym. Plot twist, it became her brand, her empire, her legacy. And speaking of productivity, let me paint you a picture of what dedication really looks like. Nora Roberts writes 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's not just when inspiration strikes. That's not just when she feels like it. That's her job, her commitment, her craft. She once said, and I love this quote, "You don't find time to write, you make time. It's my job." Can you imagine the discipline that requires the dedication, the sheer force of will? But here's what makes her truly extraordinary. It's not just the quantity, it's the quality. Between 1991 and 2001, she wrote 68 novels. All 68 made it to the New York Times bestsellers list. That's not luck, that's not accident, that's pure talent combined with an unmatched work ethic. Now let's talk about her range, because this woman doesn't just write romance. Oh no, she's so prolific that her publishers literally couldn't keep up with her output and encouraged her to create a pseudonym so they could publish more of her work. Enter J.D. Robb, a name she created using the first initials of her sons Jason and Dan, combined with a shortened version of her surname. Under this name, she writes the incredibly popular In Death series, a futuristic science fiction police procedural that has produced over 60 books and counting. Here's something that will give you chills. When Nora decided to write the Key trilogy in 2003, she released all 3 books in rapid succession. Within just 3 months, she had 3 consecutive titles on the New York Times bestsellers list simultaneously. This made her one of just a handful of authors in history to achieve this incredible feat. Imagine walking into a bookstore and seeing 3 books by the same author dominating the bestseller charts at the same time. But behind all these impressive statistics is a woman of incredible integrity and principle. In 1997, fellow best-selling author Janet Daly was discovered to have plagiarized Nora's work, stealing from her 1988 novel Sweet Revenge for Daly's book, Notorious. How did Nora handle this betrayal? She sued, won, and then used her entire settlement to help literary charities across America. And when another plagiarism scandal hit in 2019 involving Brazilian author Cristiane Cerulla, who had stolen from 41 different authors, including Nora, she again donated her settlement to literary charities, this time in Brazil. That's the kind of person we're talking about, someone who turns injustice into opportunity to help others. Let me share one of my favorite Nora Roberts insights about the writing process. She once said, "I can fix a bad page, I can't fix a blank page." This philosophy has driven her incredible productivity. She doesn't believe in writer's block. Instead, she believes writing is as much habit as it is art or craft. Even if she's writing what she calls crap, she's still writing, because you can always fix something, but you can't fix nothing. The woman writes so fast and so consistently that she typically releases 4 books a year and has done so for more than 4 decades. Let me put that in perspective for you. If each of her books averages 100,000 words, that's 400,000 words per year. which breaks down to about 1,600 words every single day. Most people struggle to write a grocery list, and this woman is cranking out nearly 2,000 words of publishable fiction daily. Here's something beautiful about Nora's approach to storytelling. She once said, "My only job is to tell the story." While other writers get caught up in market analysis, trends, and what's selling, Nora focuses on the fundamental art of storytelling. She believes, and I quote, "You can't write well what you wouldn't read for pleasure." That authenticity, that genuine love for the story she's telling, comes through in every single page. And let's talk about her incredible series work, because this woman has created entire fictional universes that readers have been living in for decades. The McGregor series started in 1985 and became one of her most successful collections. The Chesapeake Bay saga, set close to her own hometown, gives readers that authentic sense of place that only comes from writing what you know and love. The Three Sisters Island trilogy brings fantasy and magic to contemporary romance in ways that feel absolutely believable. But perhaps most impressive is the In Death series under her J.D. Robb pseudonym. Picture this: a futuristic world where Lieutenant Eve Dallas and the mysterious wealthy Rourke solve crimes in the year 2058. This series started in 1995 with Naked in Death and is still going strong today with over 60 books. That's nearly 30 years of character development, world building, and storytelling consistency that has kept millions of readers absolutely addicted to these characters' lives. What I find most inspiring about Nora's journey is how she's remained true to herself throughout unprecedented success. She still lives in Maryland, she still writes in her home office, and she still approaches each book with the same dedication she had when she was that young mother trapped in a blizzard. She once said, "Character is key. Character is plot. Character is everything, and the story wraps around them." This focus on authentic, relatable characters rather than glamour and money has set her apart in the romance genre. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Despite writing primarily romance, Nora herself says she doesn't see herself as part of the romance genre anymore. In a recent interview, when asked how she wants to be remembered, she simply said, "As a good storyteller." That's the mark of a true artist, someone who transcends genre boundaries and simply focuses on the universal human need for compelling stories. The woman has won an unprecedented 21 RITA Awards, the highest honor in the romance genre. In fact, she won so many that the Romance Writers of America renamed their Lifetime Achievement Award to the Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008. She was the first author ever inducted into the Romance Writers of America Hall of Fame, and by 2009, she had reached the phenomenal milestone of having 400 million copies of her books in print worldwide. But perhaps what's most remarkable about Nora Roberts is her generosity. Through the Nora Roberts Foundation, she financially supports organizations that promote literacy in the arts, assist children, and engage in humanitarian efforts. The foundation even endowed the Nora Roberts Center for American Romance at McDaniel College, which supports academic scholarship on American romance novels. She's not just changing individual lives through her stories, she's changing the entire literary landscape. Let me paint you a picture of what dedication looks like in real life. Nora Roberts writes even when she's on vacation. She travels with her laptop everywhere. She once joked, "I do indeed write on the road. My laptop goes with me everywhere." But it's not a joke to her, it's her life's calling. She genuinely loves the process of writing. She said, "I need to write to be happy." And here's something that shows you the scope of her influence. 12 of her novels have been adapted into movies, mostly for Lifetime television. In 2007 alone, Lifetime adapted 4 of her novels into TV movies in succession: Angels Fall, Montana Sky, Blue Smoke, and Carolina Moon. This was the first time Lifetime had ever adapted multiple works by the same author and aired them consecutively. That's the kind of cultural impact we're talking about. Now, if you're a book lover, if you're someone who appreciates incredible storytelling, if you're inspired by tales of perseverance and phenomenal success, you absolutely need to explore Nora Roberts' incredible world. Whether you start with her classic romance trilogies, dive into the futuristic world of the In Death series, or pick up one of her standalone novels like The Witness, which marked her 200th book, you're in for an experience that will remind you why reading is one of life's greatest pleasures. Speaking of reading pleasure, I want you to know that you can find comprehensive guides to all of Nora Roberts' books, reading orders for her series, and so much more incredible content at hookedtobooks.com. The team at Hooked to Books has created the ultimate resource for book lovers with detailed guides, reviews, and recommendations that will keep your reading list full for years to come. And here's what I love about the Hooked to Books community. They understand that reading isn't just a hobby, it's a passion, it's a way of life. When you visit hookedtobooks.com, you're not just getting book recommendations, you're joining a community of people who believe that the right book at the right time can change everything. They have incredible guides for every genre, author spotlights that dive deep into fascinating literary careers like Nora Roberts, and resources that help you discover your next favorite author. If you love content like this, deep dives into the lives and careers of extraordinary authors, you absolutely need to subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of book lovers who want to go beyond just reading. We want to understand the stories behind the stories, the incredible journeys that bring these amazing books into our lives. And don't forget to join the email list at hookedtobooks.com, because that's where you'll get exclusive content, early access to new guides, and recommendations tailored specifically to your reading tastes. Think of it as having a personal librarian who knows exactly what you love and is always finding your next great read. Nora Roberts once wrote, "A good story is like a door, and you can go through it whenever you need to. After you've read it or seen it or heard it, you can still go back through it. Once it's yours, it's always yours." That's the magic of great storytelling, and that's exactly what we celebrate here at Hooked to Books. From a young mother trapped in a blizzard to the undisputed queen of romance fiction, Nora Roberts' journey reminds us that sometimes our greatest challenges become our greatest opportunities. Sometimes being stuck exactly where we are is exactly where we need to be to discover who we're meant to become. So the next time you're facing your own blizzard, your own moment of being stuck, remember Nora Roberts. Remember that with discipline, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to your craft, you can create something extraordinary. Remember that every single day is an opportunity to write the next chapter of your own incredible story. Whether you're a longtime fan of Nora Roberts or you're just discovering her incredible world, you're part of a community that spans generations and continents. You're part of the legacy of storytelling that connects us all, reminds us of our shared humanity, and proves that love in all its forms really can conquer all. So pick up a Nora Roberts novel today, visit hookedtobooks.com for more incredible content, and remember, in a world full of ordinary stories, choose to read the extraordinary ones. Choose to be part of the community that celebrates the magic of books, the power of words, and the incredible journey of authors like Nora Roberts, who remind us that dreams really do come true, one page at a time.